Hello, this video will provide some debate on the controversial defensive architecture. Defensive architecture is a way of subtly expressing social divisions through urban design primarily in relation to the homeless. These include the construction or transformation of public spaces to prevent people from using them in ways not intended by their owners. It can be interpreted as hostile architecture. It is the design of public space in a way that stops unwanted behavior. And the argument is defensive architecture serves the social masses. The first positive argument ensure that the majority of people live in a clean and tidy environment and are less likely to be threatened. As Naomi said, when cities focus on presenting and creating a safe, clean, and controlled public realm, they lose civic interaction and diversity, but potentially unsettling or unwanted encounters are resolved by defensive architecture that seeks to produce constrained, individualized interactions with the city. This further narrows the definition of who is and who should be allowed into public space. It is undeniable that the defensive architecture filters the users of space, the presence of drug addicts and vagrants, affected society's sense of security and well-being, especially for minors. Defensive architecture is like a fence around your home, stopping the entry of those who are not welcome in your home. On the other hand, defensive architecture effectively reduces the creation of unsafe behavior among people. For example, putting barriers in the plan of public space prevent skateboarders from causing accidents there. They should go to skating parks or similar public spaces. The second positive argument is reduce the maintenance cost for landowner and maintain order. As Fallon said, we are creating public spaces, but within public spaces there is the intention to keep public spaces orderly and maintained, to save on policing costs, or to reduce maintenance and vandalism. For the landowner, defensive architecture reduces the presence of drug addicts and vagrants in the space, which can reduce the cost to landowner of the policing required in that space. On the other hand, defensive architecture can reduce the irreversible damage to the land caused by unapproved people and use that make the space more expensive to maintain. Now is the negative parts. The first negative argument is defensive architecture inevitably affects the design language of the city and reduces accessibility. As Alex said, we are attempting to keep the homeless away. Uncomfortable conditions are created for the elderly citizens and pregnant women as well. These measures do not and cannot distinguish the vagrant posterior from others considered more deserving. Be honest, most defensive architecture are fixed. They cannot be moved or changed, so such facilities do not have flexibility. As a result, the facilities are seen by citizens only to drive away users, not a specific group of people. Any group of people who want to use the place will be subject to the same eviction. The functional relevance of defensive architecture greatly reduces. The utilization of urban public space makes the atmosphere of urban public space aggressive. The second negative argument is defensive architecture reinforces the antagonistic relationship between people, aggravate discrimination, and stimulate social conflicts. As Elder said, hostile architecture, just like attempts to criminalize roof sleeping, serves to displace the visibility of profound inequality. The emergence of such defensive architecture suggests that the masses are rejecting the homeless or vagrants. These facilities subconsciously influence the masses and set a negative social consciousness orientation. It reinforces the exclusion and discrimination against the poor and disadvantaged groups in society. The ostracism of a certain specific group of people. This behavior is uncivilized and unmodern. At the same time, defensive architecture reduces communication between affected groups and increases misunderstanding between them. It makes social conflicts more likely to arise. Defensive architecture is still controversial. That is all of my video. Thanks for watching.